and goes to negative armor, it like slowed sword might not be enough if he gets stun locked, but it is up with a nice timing. Somehow Nisha ahead of the game in net worth. That is wild. He's been a part of a lot of kills thus far.
Man staying slightly ahead of the Faceless Void as well. He is going to be going for a very early Esso. What do you think about that?
Check the camp stack. He might be using the trick you were talking about.
Yeah, 11.
Putting up insane numbers out here.
Yeah, it really is. And yet, despite all those camps stacked, still behind in net worth by 3K in total.
It's the lack of playmaking power. You know, this is what somewhat punished Vici. You know, we saw their series against Nigma. They always had this focus on the macro game, on the late game. You know, a last pick Spectre in that game that they dropped. But the game one, you know, it wasn't so much Vici winning. It played solid, but ultimately it was just that the later it went, the more secure their position. Yeah. You might be able to say that here. Most people do consider Void the king of the late game, but I really am starting to like what I see with Secret. They have controlled it. All about finding an opening there. Huddled is 4. Nisha's ready to and more importantly, they're playing this Roche pit area. If they find kills here, it's immediate. It wasn't so much the objective. They want spot. Nobody cares about bottom safe in tower. You can clear it out later.
This is the kind of classic, right? Both can take Roshan, so therefore both lineups sit around the Roshan pit for as long as possible. And you can see some games where they battle back and forth for 5-6 times before one is broken. They kind of jump in onto a Wraith King as their first target. Ori on the front lines, already trying to put in the damage with the quills, but that Winter's Curse is just going to line up, so Old 11 is dead, and he doesn't even have buyback. No, broken Bristleback inside of the river. He's also gone. Meanwhile, Nisha is just harrying the back line. Almost managed to catch the Shadow Demon, but is going to be caught inside this Chronosphere and killed by Poyoyo, but he can't really fight anything else. No. He's out of gas.
That's it.
That's it. Time for Roshan.
Yep. I mean, that was, you see right there. There's no way Ori expected his survivability to be so non-existent. He straight up just gets popped first, kills Old 11. Excellent use of the Winter's Curse there. Typically, we're talking about being used as a defensive tool, but that's why it's so powerful, because it actually gets the free kill on Centaur, and, you know, alley-oops the Bristleback. Everybody has time to land spells. All that minus armor coming out, the Deso, the Medallion, the Slardar Amp, and then the break. They blew everything. They lose only Nisha. Kind of a given. You get solo chronoed. They get the Roche.
I mean, we could see immediately that was going to be a bad idea. And Vici Gaming, you could see it in them too. Yeah. There was a bit of trepidation. Old 11 was like, I don't really want to jump a Wraith King, but I guess I have Inkswell. Like, he does it anyway, and it's a terrible fight.
Yeah. It's definitely, I don't know how it happened, but felt like one of those moments where the team's saying go. You know, you're set up to go. You don't really want to. You saw that second of hesitation. Yeah. Go for it anyway, and ultimately, you know, fight together, die together. But Nisha also did a good job. He completely removed the supports from that engagement.
Yeah, there was supposed to be some disruption saves somewhere in there.
I think it got on. I don't know how relevant it was. Yeah. Like, and then all of a sudden, Ori's running forwards, but the moment his target switches to Centaur, that fight is lost. It's really just about finding Apsor. You have to find the Apsor if you're Vici Gaming.
That is a big difference, right? It's like Vici Gaming, their jump in is a Faceless Void, as you said, maybe a Centaur. Those aren't the best catch heroes for really killing supports, but the puck, that's going to be super disruptive at being able to find Grimstroke and finding the Shadow Demon, preventing disruption saves. Really good. TP away. Oh, even better though. They got the coil. He's not going to be able to get away from that shot from the Hoodwink, and they've got more than enough chain stuns to hold him in place. And even if they didn't, they'd have vision of everywhere he went.
Yeah, they have this nice Tinker ward, but really now a Hoodwink ward for
yeah.
But you know, that's a ward to try and find the pesky 5 position at Team Secret, who somehow has 5,000 net worth. Puppy always finding a way to get farm, but top 2 net worths now. Team Secret Heroes, and certainly feeling strong. The Dagon queued up by Nisha. And I like this. You know, we just talked about the disparity. Vici can't hunt backline, Secret can. And that's what Nisha's itemizing for. He wants to be able to pop the Shadow Demon at the start of the fight. That means whoever else his squad goes for, they know they can 100-0 it, uninterrupted, and just way more stuns.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, it goes, okay, Chronosphere, but then the Winter Wyvern is the counter to the Chronosphere, and then in which case, especially if it's Winter's Curse, maybe Disruption is the counter to that, but he's never going to get it off. Not with Nisha in the game anyways.
Yep. I feel like I've seen it so many times in games of Dota. It's the script that is written take Roche as Radiant immediately rotate towards bottom, collect the towers, and then keep immediately back up to defend.
They're going to be able to catch him too. There's no way he's getting out of this one. The Bushwhack, they do manage to get the disruption, buying a little bit of time. It's double. Oh, that's actually great. Soulbind that's going to be able to catch the two of them. Maybe blowing up Nisha right away and taking the first life away from Matubba Man. He's going to come back in a world of hurt. His Poyo immediately lines up for a Chronosphere, catches the Winter Wyvern. Nobody else, but if he can kill the Wyvern right away, it's not that big of a deal. As Matubba Man still being kited around by this Bristleback, the big BKB Zai. Slardar just goes ahead and finds a Shadow Demon kill, but can he really save Matubba Man here? Now on his third life and final life for him is going to be able to blink away. DY being chased by that Slardar, but they have to keep their distance from Ori. Without the break mechanic and without the targeted fire, they have a hard time being able to take him out.
Yeah, that was an insane fight from Vici Game. You saw the Grimstroke ulti immediately, the double ultimate from the Shadow Demon. Purges both.
He's coming back. He's really going to try and do this one. His regrade is not back up yet. His haste rune has a few more seconds. Might be able to get him away. The break put onto the Bristleback, and they do have now Nisha. It's going to be joined back into the fight. Does have the coil. Disruption. Is it out there? He does not hear. They're not going to be able to buy this one. The silence goes out, and then his Face's Void just getting blown up right away. Now the damage is turned on to the Centaur, who has the Inkswell. Can he stay alive long enough for it to pop? Not quite, but Matubba Man finally does fall. Or he turns around, swipes him once, but he wanted the kill on his eye as well. He's being put and pulled apart. He can't really stick on a one target, and all of his allies, they're being ripped apart by Nisha, ripped apart by Zai. They're just running and kiting this Bristleback to oblivion. Now he's left all by his lonesome against three heroes. Immediately Lotus Orb going down to be able to take rid of that corrosive haze, but now he's being slowed down by Yapzor. Bit by bit, poke by poke, they're going to be able to finish him off. The last man of Vici Gaming goes down, and Team Secret holding out for a nice team fight.
I mean, they just need some time to warm up, Cap. That was nice. That is what you expect to see. Incredible silence from Nisha, if we could run that back, because that straight up on the fight. I actually think that that's going to turn around, but he hits a 4-man silence. That's what allows them to finish the Void. The disruption was just off cooldown, unable to be utilized because Nisha, I don't even think he had vision. He just like straight up went for it. He knew he had to get the overlap on any backline in range. BKB will soon come out on the Void. Zai had his in that last engagement. Very early timing. Ultimately 20-10, only a 6k net worth lead. You can see how difficult it is to take down the Bristle, but this kind of goes back to the item build. Hood, Vanguard, Lotus Orb, he's survivable.
Yep.
He's just getting kited.
Yep.
He can't actually stick to a target to deal damage. So by the time he's hitting somebody, it's Secret hitting back because they've killed out his entire team.
Yeah, as you said,